for, Pissbot? It's time to jump.
What? Prison scrambled your brains, old man.
Drink took care of that a long time ago. Now get up here!
I can't, that's impossible.
Impossible? That's the purview of every assassin boy. If you can pluck your head out of your own arse, come find us. Make a great fit. Goodbye, Pisspot!
You! Back away from the ledge!
Paris during the French Revolution is an incredible idea for an open-world sandbox. Ubisoft used this setting as an open world for Assassin's Creed Unity. Unity was released on the Xbox One, PS4, and PC, making this the first Ubisoft game to not be released for last-gen consoles. Lately, Unity has become the victim of horrible press releases about gameplay glitches, frame rate, and bad combat issues for the past couple of months. However, we must take into account that this is the first title built on the new game engine specifically for this current generation. Regardless of what this title became and how it plays, Ubisoft released this with the intent of pulling Assassin's Creed into the next generation. Does Unity do that? Well, yes and no, depending on what you are looking for, but regardless, it is another entry into the series that will live on after the hype is over.
I want to make it right.
The death of Grandmaster de la Serre weighs on you. Why? Did you wield the blade yourself?
Does it matter? The blame still lies with me.
Inna ذنوبه تكل كيلي. هل أنت متأكد من؟
أنا كذلك. إنه قادر على مواجهة المحاكمة. سيكون جيدا.
Very well. Out of the dark you come into the light. From the light you will return to the dark. Are you prepared to travel the Eagle's path?
If that's a fancy way of asking, do I want your help? Yes.
Then drink.
Regardless of whether or not you like Assassin's Creed, if you happen to pick up this game, you will definitely have fun in Unity's open world. Paris during the French Revolution makes an incredible setting for an open-world sandbox. The overall vibe is definitely there, with peasants waving French flags, to the public executions, to the absolutely massive crowds that plague the streets of Paris. This is the first Assassin's Creed game that actually feels like we are in a crowded city, with so much detail being put into the natural occurrences around you. Still, there will be the occasional glitch every now and then of a crowd member falling through the ground or walking on invisible surfaces, but this is relatively low and honestly doesn't distract you from a realistic experience. The most incredible new aspect of this game is the lighting effect. It actually feels like we are walking into shadows of buildings, and the realistic lighting calls for a much more energetic world, basking as realistic as virtual sunlight can get.
Taking a ride this evening, Professor?
No. I'm afraid not. These older models are entirely at the mercy of the breeze, and there is far too much of it, I'm afraid, to be safe. Now, this particular example... What do you think you're doing? Get out of there this instant!
Cut the ropes! I'll cover you!
Oh my.
The gameplay for Unity is virtually the same as before, with the interface looking almost identical to the last three entries. The gameplay mechanics are the same, with the exception of eagle jumping. There is a new fast climb up and fast climb down system that is definitely a huge step in the right direction, and it is actually easier to get up and down buildings now, which would have been much more useful in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. There is also a new upgrade system which is much more efficient and provides us with more of an easier experience. You can update right in the menu, which is a very nice touch.
Please! Mademoiselle de la Serre as well. This is quite the reunion.
Stay hidden. Keep him talking.
Combat is relatively similar, with the exception of a few changes to which buttons do what. The typical sword fights and gunshots are back as expected. However, one feature that is surprisingly gross and clunky is the multiplayer co-op. This is a big shame, considering Ubisoft promoted the heck out of being finally able to do this in the series. The basic mechanics are there, and I like the idea, but it needs much more polish before it can be released again. Your companions glitch like crazy, causing them to kill an enemy, but not have it respawn on your screen until a few seconds later. This does matter because enemies will attack you while you are glitched, and it gets very frustrating sometimes.
Can things ever go back to the way they were before, do you think?
Do you? After everything that's happened? Everything we've lost?
So that's it then? The course of history forever altered, never again to return.
Maybe we can't go back. But going forward isn't necessarily an ending.
Elise, You cheated.
You took too long.
I love you.
The most frustrating aspect of this game is easily the massive amount of glitches that this game encounters. It happens during combat, during co-op, and even when you are simply exploring Paris. I didn't record this part, and I couldn't recreate it again, but one glitch had me falling through the top of the Notre Dame, plundering through the ceiling and other walls to my death on the cathedral altar. This is clearly a one-time thing because I have ventured many times to the top of the cathedral again, and nothing has happened. But it was actually hilarious how bad that glitch was. Another major problem with Unity is Arno not going where you want him to go. They need to reprogram the jumping system or something, because half the time, Arno would not go on the buildings that I wanted him to go on. He sort of just guessed as to where you wanted to go, and 90% of the time it was wrong. This needs to change for the next entry. I won't go into the last mission for spoiler purposes, but be prepared for some funny glitches in the last mission.
These are the words spoken by our ancestors, the words that lay at the heart of our creed.
Stay your blade from the flesh of the innocent.
Hide in plain sight.
Never compromise the Brotherhood.
Let these tenets be branded upon your mind. Follow them and be uplifted. Break them at your peril. Rise, assassin.
Even after the game has been patched 4 times, Unity continues to experience a lot of glitches. However, even with these glitches and combat problems, Unity is still a great experience. Sure, the combat can be frustrating and the jumping system can cause problems, but Unity has so much more to offer than that. Its open-world Paris is massive, with a billion things to do in it, and it is what makes the game shine. The new game engine can cause a few frame rate issues when syncing viewpoints, but it is also still a beautiful game that really feels like a living, breathing world. The story is also a great story, with Arno being very relatable to you as a person. Clearly, there needs to be many bug fixes before the next entry into the series is released, but if you pick up Unity, you'll still have fun.
Again! Ow! Focus, pisspot.
What the hell is going on out there?
Citizens are restless. Keep an ear open. Opportunity might just come knocking soon.
That was cannon fire.
Sometimes opportunity sounds a lot like cannon fire.
Secure the prisoners.
Follow my lead.